Okay, you want me to give an introduction? Here we go. Oh, can they hear me?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We're here at the UFA, United Farmers Alliance meet and greet. Thank you for those who could not join in person for joining us online. We have some very exciting things to go over today. We're here at the beautiful Yesteryear Village Museum at the Fairgrounds location in West Palm Beach. And yeah, it's so great to have you all here, and we hope you enjoy the show. Justin's going to take it away.
All right, thanks, Christina. Yeah, so we've got a couple of things to go over today, and we got a couple of guests that want to, speak and talk over some things. So just going to quickly go over our agenda. Here. So first we're going to have FarmRaise. So that's going to be Sammy. She's going to be Sammy's going to be speaking from FarmRaise. So that's going to be first on our agenda. FDACS, Palm Beach County, and UF Extension's office. All three of those could not make it today, so we won't be hearing from them. NRCS is here today, so we'll hear a few keynotes from them as well, and then FSA should be here. I don't see them in attendance yet, but hopefully they'll be coming here shortly. So let me dive right in to see what we've got going on from United Farmers Alliance, and I'm going to share my screen with everybody here as well. Okay, so a little bit of update for 2021. Our donations from 2020 to 2021, the approximate weight is 180,000 pounds that we've been able to donate out to local communities. That's equating to 720,000 of fresh local produce and vegetables, so high nutritional value products, and everything is perishable there. Financial support to local farmers, over $170,000 to date, and created 4 jobs, whether they're part-time or full-time there. Our local farmers market, we've got a couple that are coming up here. We are Fresh Access Bucks approved, so that allows anybody with an EBT card to be able to get 50% off of purchases over $10 up to $40. So that's a really, really unique thing that we're able to do there, is be able to get into the underserved communities and really be able to support them with nutrient-dense foods and get them a good price for those products as well, while still being able to get equitable access to the farmers. So South Florida Fair, that's going to be starting in November. So that'll be a weekly farmers market that we're going to be hosting and managing. So we'll be able to see all of our farmers' products there. Ocean View Methodist Church, that's the one we've been running since earlier this year. That's the last Sunday of every month, right after they get out of service there. The VFW, that's the first Friday of every month. And we're looking at bringing on more locations there. And then the American Legion starts in September this year as well. And those are all three of those are monthly distribution locations. And those are all in underserved communities as well. Our shipping container cold storage projects, we got one delivered out to the Glades Initiative. They're out in Belle Glade. They've been able to get that running and have been using that successfully. And then we've got another one coming to Feeding Hungry. That's another food pantry. They want a quantity of 5 of those there. 3 of those being refrigeration, 2 of those being freezer. Our next project is the Geothermal Greenhouse Learning Center. That's one that we are working with possibly the South Florida Fair to house that project as an educational center, where we can train farmers on climate-controlled different techniques and products that are out there and technology that's coming out, that's always changing, and then be able to teach the K through 12 and community members as well. We want to make that a really fun central hub for people to come out and check out local innovative technologies in the agricultural community. see what's happening for the future. So we've got a few funds there. Definitely want to mention the Morton Mandel Foundation. They have been able to help support us getting that going. We're looking forward to possibly having a funding match with NRCS for their innovative extension, grow season extension. They're really trying to get the high tunnels and hoop houses as well, trying to get those to really extend the season. And then the refrigeration distribution vehicles, we've changed that up a little bit. We've been able to reduce the cost there. So anything where we're able to help save a few dollars on our end always goes directly to our farmers and our community members. So we're always looking at different ways of trying to cut expenses there on those things. And then the latest project that we've just started, very, very tip of the iceberg here. We're really looking at the veteran community here in Palm Beach County and through Southeast Florida, and identifying workforce needs and seeing where we can get vets involved in the farming community, and seeing where those positions are available. I know, for example, like on our farm, we could absolutely use somebody at least 20 to 30 hours, if not full time. And I know we've talked to several other farmers about that as well, and accommodating them and really being able to support our veterans as well. And then also looking at possibly figuring out a way that for farther location farms that may need more labor hours, being able to house them with either RVs or trailers, maybe having something there to set that up. But again, that's the tip of the iceberg. So we're just trying to figure out what the next steps are for that, and then getting a training program going so that they can be certified to go work on other farms and be able to take off running with the knowledge they need to be successful on the farm. And so from there, head and jump back over. And Sammy, I'm going to give it to you, and let's see if this works here with the share screen.
That sounds great. Hello, everyone. I am going to pull up my screen here. See if I can share this with you. Awesome. Can you give me a thumbs up, Justin, if you can see it okay? Good. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. I wish I could be there with most of you in person. It sounds like you've had a fun event, and I wish you the best for the rest of the evening together. My name is Sammy. I am one of the co-founders and the COO at FarmRaise, which is a relatively new company. We started in March of 2020. Great timing to start a business, as I'm sure many of you know and can possibly relate as well. And what we are on a mission to do is really help restore vitality to farms across the country by enabling easier access to farm funding. My background is not as a kid that grew up on a farm. I actually didn't really know much about farming until college, when I got really interested in it. And I'm so excited to get the opportunity to work with farmers every day and help really distill some of the complex information out there about funding opportunities, and then help farmers actually take the next step and apply to grants and loans. So what I wanted to talk with you about today is kind of just go on a tour of some of the existing funding options that are out there for farmers, and then share some resources that might be helpful as you think about applying, or as the farmers that you work with are thinking about this as well. And so we'll do a quick overview of farm funding sources. I'll then share some resources that'll help you think about applying, including FarmRaise's resources. And then when there's time, we can do Q&A, and I'll also leave my contact info so that you can reach out to me directly and we can have a conversation after this. So at FarmRaise, we've cataloged that farm funding in the United States really exists across 5 key dimensions. There are grants, which are allocations of money that are typically there's no strings attached other than you fulfilling the proposal that you write for that money. They can require some reporting and maybe some matching of cash, but they're out there for you to access for a specific purpose on the farm, usually for a stewardship project or for a marketing project. So they're about helping you invest back in the operation, which unfortunately a lot of farms can't do just with the income from the farm because you're busy running the operation and paying for all of the things that make it happen. So grants are there as an added influx of capital to help you invest in stewardship, expanding your business, improving the business overall. There are also easements where you can set aside your land for certain purposes. You could even get paid, especially if you're near an urban rural boundary, you could get paid for protecting that land for the purpose of farming. To set up an easement, which would allow you to get a payment to actually cover the cost of setting up the easement, but then you also can get annual payments for keeping that land in that specific use. There are also easements for conservation that we can talk about if anyone is interested in those. We also look a lot at loans. So loan capital is pretty crucial to most farmers. It helps pay for operating expenses, can help you take on big purchases like purchasing land. So loans are a big component of this. And then there's also emergency funding that I'm sure you all have seen a lot of lately given COVID. The CFAP program was a huge amount of funding that came through USDA for farmers offering direct payments to help cope with the impacts of the pandemic. And then recently, especially out west, we were seeing a lot of emergency relief come through drought related programs. And then occasionally there are some special initiatives from the federal government related to things like soil health. So we saw this year that if you had planted cover crops on your cropland, you could actually receive a $5 per acre discount in your insurance premium if you signed up by a certain time. So we're tracking those programs as well. But for the most part at FarmRaise, we're concerned with grants and loans. And so just in terms of orienting to the landscape, we see federal farm funding coming from 5 agencies or programs within the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The NRCS is a big one. I'm very happy that they're here as well. And the SARE program is another one. I used to work at SARE in the North Central region, full disclosure. So I love their programming, and we'll talk a bit about some of the grants that they offer. And then the Farm Service Agency has loans as well as some programs for beginning farmers, veteran farmers, special identity groups. And then rural development and the ag marketing service also have some funds available through grant and loan programs. All in all, about $3 billion every year is available in financial assistance to farmers and ranchers on grants and cost share programs alone, and then more is made available through loans. I wanted to give a quick overview of some of the most popular federal grants for farmers. Something that we do at FarmRaise is help farmers understand what they might be eligible for, and then strategize around the needs that their operations have in terms of projects and things to invest in. And then we match that over to these different grant programs. And so through our work with over 1,000 farmers now, we've seen these grants come up time and time again. So the Value Added Producer Grant is offered by the USDA Rural Development Office, usually due in March each year. This is an awesome opportunity for folks that want to do something on the farm related to marketing a value-added product or adding value to the business in some way. Value add can either be, you're changing the state of a good that you produce on the farm. It could also be how you market that thing. So maybe you want to lean into marketing a local product or an organic product. So you can use a value-added producer grant to pay for things like building a website or putting labels on your products, packaging your products, or even hiring labor to help you sell the products once you take them to market. The SARE program, as I mentioned before, is a great one. This one is usually due in the fall. And in the southern region, you can get up to $15,000 as an individual farmer from SARE to do something on the farm related to sustainability. And so what they want to see is farmers investing in their own research to improve the farm through the lens of sustainability. And they look at it in three different elements: the economic sustainability of the farm, the environmental sustainability, but also the social component as well. There's the third program we see the most interest in and fit in for our farmers is called REAP, the Rural Energy for America program offered through Rural Development. This has two deadlines, one in the spring and one in the fall. And this is for renewable energy and conservation of energy on the farm. And then the last program, and this is the one we've actually helped the most farmers with to date, is the Environmental Quality Incentives Program from the NRCS. There are applications for this that are accepted year round. They do get batched and reviewed at certain dates, but you can apply anytime. And it's really structured as either cost share for an infrastructure project for a high tunnel, for example, or for fencing or water infrastructure. But also you can get a financial incentive through EQIP for certain practices like cover cropping. So in that case, it's cost share, but it might even go beyond that and reward you for putting those practices on the ground. So these are the most popular grants. I will make sure that this information is available to you all after this. But I wanted to kind of give an overview so that you could start thinking about some of the project areas that are competitive for federal funding. And then touching a bit more on EQIP, one of the things about the Environmental Quality Incentives Program is that you want to position your farm to be more competitive for funding, since EQIP dollars are generally somewhat competitive. And so to do that, you need to think about the intersection of your farm's resource concerns and the goals you have for your land and the priority areas that are going to receive funding in your state. So in Florida, some of the biggest areas of concern are water quality, habitat for wildlife, water quantity, soil health, and then plant and animal health. And so you can actually drill into the data if you like that analytical approach and see kind of over time where Florida NRCS has been spending money, and then think about what you need to get done on your farm in terms of resource concerns and see if there's a good intersection there. I'm happy to talk with any of you about that too if you want to kind of work through that together. So all of this knowledge is great. It's awesome to get oriented to the landscape. A lot of our work at FarmRaise is focused on that piece of this, which is education and really helping match farmers to programs. But there's also a big component of this, and perhaps the biggest hurdle is how you actually apply, because there's no common application. All of these grants have their own unique processes you have to follow. And so really the first step is zooming out a bit. And as I've mentioned with EQIP, for example, you want to identify and prioritize your goals, looking for themes and areas of interest. We've worked with farmers who don't really have any idea of what they want to get done this year, but they know they have to start somewhere. So they start to build that list with us. And then we've also seen farmers who have a very comprehensive 5-year plan, and they want to match that to different grants and funding opportunities. So this planning process is really, really important, and it'll make you stronger as an applicant later on. And then you want to plan for some key considerations and gather the resources you need to actually apply. So think about when these deadlines are going to be. What is the application format? Do you want to do your own grant writing, or do you want to hire a grant writer to help you for those grants that require a narrative? And then you also need to be thinking about whether you can accommodate the funding disbursement cycle of the grant, because not all grants give you the money up front. In a lot of situations, you need to provide the money for the implementation, and then you'll get reimbursed. So that's something that folks need to think through. And I wanted to share a bit right now, just for the last minute or two, about how FarmRaise can help with this. So what we've really tried to do is make this easier. Farmers are so busy. There's not time to navigate a lot of this. And so we've built an application tool that helps offload the administrative stuff, the paperwork, the forms you have to fill out for some of these programs, taking a process that can often take a few hours and multiple visits to a USDA service center before you even get started sort of on the grant itself, and making it digital with the help of our staff who you can access through office hours and on via text. So we've cut the application time to 20 minutes for EQIP, and we also help farmers apply for CSP, which is a sister program to EQIP, and then FSA loans and farm credit loans. We send you updates. There are a lot of newsletters that come out from state and federal institutions about new programs. It can be hard to understand what you should really go for. And so we send updates to you so you can manage deadlines and also know whether an opportunity is really a good fit for your farm. And then, as I mentioned, our team is available via office hours to our members to work through planning and also help with paperwork. We have a pretty simple process. Once you sign up for FarmRaise Premium, we have a free and a premium version of the platform. Free is just eligibility matching, but if you go for premium, then you get access to office hours and the application tools. We'll give you a welcome call. We'll help you get your account set up, and then you can start applying. We charge $20 a month for premium. And then we also charge a success fee on any loans we help a farmer apply for. And then, zooming back out, if you could have sort of a summarized roadmap to take away from this conversation, it's really that the first step is to take stock and set your vision. Farm funding isn't necessarily the easiest thing to navigate, but if you have a plan, it makes sense. And then you can leverage resources like FarmRaise to really learn about your options, take that plan to the next step, and apply. This has been fun, pretty one-sided with me talking at you guys. So I'm excited to meet you all. I hope we get to have some conversation. And please feel free to reach out to me. You can do either sammy@farmraise.com or sammy@farmraise.us. Either one will work. And if you're ready to take the leap with FarmRaise, you are welcome to go to our website and learn more as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sammy. I appreciate it. All right. So I guess going on to the next, we have FSA here and NRCS. Whichever one of you guys want to come up to the podium, we can get you guys on the live feed for the presentation. Whoever wants to step up first. If you can do screen and then I can keep monitoring on here for any questions or anything. And I'll set up the presentation here. All right, so we're gonna have Nikki, how do I pronounce your last name? So Nikki Anoha is gonna be presenting from the Farm Services Agency. And I'm gonna flip over to my screen here. It's gonna be for the presentation. And Christina's screen is gonna have her on the live feed. So, all right. Yeah, all right, so I'm gonna let you click on audio and then.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's do a sound check. Make sure everybody can hear you okay.
Can everybody hear me okay?
All right, thumbs up.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, this is my first time doing this. My name is Nikki Anoha, and I'm the County Executive Director for Broward and Palm Beach County. I have been appointed so far for a year at that county office. So, like I said, this is my first time coming to this event and my first time presenting to everyone, all you guys farmers, and I'm happy that you guys are here to listen to me today. I have some fact sheets that I have provided to Justin that he will give to you, or if anything, I will provide my contact information so you can email me, give me a call if you have any questions, and I'll be able to further assist you. All right, I'm going to start off with the county committee elections. So, farmers and ranchers have until August 2nd to nominate candidates to serve on the Broward and Palm Beach County Farm Service Agency Committee. The United States Department of Agriculture accepts nominations each year in certain local administrative areas, LAAs, for individuals to serve on these locally led committees. The August 2nd deadline is quickly approaching, and county committee members play a critical role in the day-to-day operations of the agency and are vital to how FSA carries out disaster programs, as well as conservation, commodity, and price support programs. This is your opportunity to have a say in how federal programs are delivered in our counties. This year, the Broward and Palm Beach is accepting nominations for Local Administrative Area 3, that is the Pahokee community. Agricultural producers who participate or cooperate in a USDA program and reside in that LLA up for election this year may be nominated for candidacy for the county committee. A cooperating producer is someone who has provided information about their farming or ranching operations to FSA, even if they have not applied or received program benefits. The committees are made up of 3 to 11 members who serve 3-year terms. For the Broward and Palm Beach County Committee, we have 5 county committee members, 2 in Broward and 3 in Palm Beach. Broward is divided into two separate local administrative areas, and that's LLA 4 and LLA 5. Palm Beach is divided into 3. It's the Bellagley community, which is local administrative area 1, Loxahatchee area, which is local administrative area 2, and then we have the Pahokee community, which is local administrative area 3. USDA encourages minority producers, women and beginning farmers or ranchers to nominate, vote, and hold office. Producers should contact the Broward and Palm Beach FSA County office to get involved. To be considered a producer, a producer must sign Form FSA 669A, which I have on myself, and if you would like to participate, you can go ahead and email me, which I will provide at the very end, and I will go ahead and produce that form for you. Or you can visit the office. We are open 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. The form and other information about FSA County Committee elections are also available on fsa.usda.gov/elections. Election ballots will be mailed to each eligible voters beginning November 1st, 2021. I want to go over quickly the election period with you, because that's a very important part. So June 15, 2021, the nomination period begins. Request nomination forms for the local FSA county office or obtain online, like I said, at the fsa.usda.gov/elections website. On August 2nd, 2021, the last day to file nomination forms at the local FSA county office is the last day. On November 1st, 2021, ballots will be mailed to all eligible voters. December 6, 2021, that is the last day to return voted ballots to the local FSA county office. And then by January 1st, 2022, the newly elected county committee member takes office. You can provide these forms to me if you do visit the website or happen to have the forms on you, or if you do get them from me when you do contact me, you can provide them to me through fax, through email, or drop off at the county office, or even mail it to me. Next, I would like to bring to your attention a little event that is taking place It's an event taking place through Zoom for production and revenue history coverage for fresh market peppers. And you are invited to participate in a listening session with Agrolytic, who is working under contract for USDA Risk Management Agency. Why? We want your feedback about a potential production and revenue history policy for fresh market peppers. Who? The sessions are for fresh market peppers growers in South Florida and Georgia, industry members and regional insurance representatives. Also, if someone you know is interested but unlikely to receive email notification, please share this invitation. And there will be 2 in-person listening sessions in early August, plus a video conference session, which can be accessed by video and audio or by audio alone. Our contact information is also provided in the instructions if you cannot make any of the scheduled sessions but want to provide feedback. On Thursday, August 5th, 2021, in Palm Beach County at 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Palm Beach County Extension Office, 559, which is North Military Trail, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33415. The telephone number is 561-233-1700. They're going to be having the events. And also they have the Zoom session details, which I have with me. And if you would like to go or if you would like to participate, like I said, at the end of the presentation, I'll provide my contact information. But again, feel free to reach out to me. And if you would like the FSA number now, our FSA shared line number is 561-657-4247. Feel free to reach out to me anytime, and I will get back to you at my earliest convenience. Next, I want to go over with you the farm loan information chart. FSA is divided into two. We have farm programs and we have farm loans. I work on the farm program side. So farm programs is not necessarily a loan program, but we are reimbursed. We have multiple reimbursement programs to help you with whatever disaster or pandemic related events that pandemic-related activities that took or affected you, anything that affected you negatively, natural disaster-wise, we have programs to reimburse you. But there are different requirements per program, and you would just have to meet the eligibility. And once you meet the eligibility, I'll be able to assist you further from that point. So for the farm loan information chart, I don't have too much information for that. I'm going to go over the chart a little bit just to give you the types of loans we have. And if you have any questions, still feel free to reach out to me. We do not have a loan presence at this Palm Beach Broward County's service center, but our loan presence for Palm Beach County is at the Okeechobee office, and our loan presence for the Broward County is at the Miami-Dade office. The kind of loans that we offer currently are direct farm ownership loans, direct farm ownership participation loans, direct farm ownership microloans, direct down payment farm ownership program loans, direct operating loans, direct operating microloans, direct emergency loans, easy guarantee, guaranteed operating loans, guaranteed farm ownership loans, guaranteed conservation loans, and land contract guarantee. There's actually more loans than this. We have like youth loans or loans for beginning farmers or ranchers, or even let's say you don't have a farm yet and you need funds to start a farm. We have loan programs for that. So please just feel free to reach out to me. And like I said, I'll be happy to further assist you. Okay, I'm going to talk briefly about the American Rescue Plan. It's a new program. It is a loan program. And I'm going to go ahead and read it off. And I'm sorry if I'm reading off the fact sheets. Like I said, I'm new at this, but don't worry. After a couple of events and I come and visit, I'll be very savvy at this.
Doing great.
All right, so now debt payments for socially disadvantaged producers. The American Rescue Plan Act Section 1005 includes provisions for USDA to pay up to 120% of loan balances as of January 1st, 2021 for Farm Service Agency direct and guaranteed farm loans and farm storage facility loans to any socially disadvantaged producer who has a qualifying loan with FSA. This includes producers who are one or more of the following: Black, African American, American Indian, Alaskan Native, Hispanic Latino, Asian American, or Pacific Islander. The American Rescue Plan Act uses Section 2501 of the Food, Agriculture, Conservation, and Trade Act of 1990 as a definition of socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers. The 120% payment represents the full cost of the loan, to include 100% towards loan balances as of January 1st, 2021, and the 20% portion is available for tax liabilities and other fees associated with payments of the debt. Any payments by borrowers made since January 1st will be reimbursed in full. So how do you participate? Eligible direct loan borrowers will begin receiving debt relief letters from FSA in the mail on a rolling basis beginning the week of May 24th. Information for guaranteed loan borrowers will be available within 120 days. After reviewing closely, eligible borrowers should sign the letter when they receive it and return it to FSA. FSA employees will assist borrowers with their questions free of charge and will help producers complete any required documents. USDA will collaborate with community-based organizations and universities on outreach, technical assistance, and providing borrowers with access to financial, legal, and tax planning services. Details about how to request a meeting with FSA are in each letter. If you are uncertain of your demographic designation on file at FSA, you can contact your local service center to verify your classification on record. And if an update or correction is needed, you may either fill out the USDA Form 80-2047 or work with your local service center to update your records, including race and ethnicity. I have a couple of those forms here with me. Those forms are also used to register your farm with me. So let's say this is your first time hearing about the USDA. Or let's say you would like to participate in any programs with the FSA versus NRCS or even RD, which are all our sister agencies. Well, I don't know about RD, but I know for the NRCS agency, you will have to register your farm with me. So that Form 80-2047 is very important. And if you do want to register your farm or even just update your demographic designation with me, go ahead and fill out that form. It's available on farmers.gov. All eligibility forms for any program for FSA is available on farmers.gov. You can go ahead and fill it out and send it to me. And also, if I have that information in your email and you do complete that form, I'm going to be able to upload your email into our database. Every month by the 16th, I release something called the Gov Delivery Bulletin. It includes information from FSA as well as NRCS and RMA on available programs or current programs that are open or sign up deadlines or anything, any information to the producers that we have, anything that we want to release, we release them out monthly. So it's important to register your farm with us, even if you're not participating in any program, but just to be aware. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to talk about now the Organic Certification Cost Share Program. Now I'm going to be talking about some FSA programs I do offer that I'm a little bit well versed with. We have several, but okay. So the Organic Certification Cost Share Program, a little introduction. The U.S. Department of Agriculture Organic Certification Cost Share Program, administered by the Farm Service Agency, provides organic producers and handlers with financial assistance to reduce the cost of organic certification. The program reimburses producers and handlers for a portion of their paid certification cost. Once certified, organic producers and handlers are eligible to receive reimbursement for 50% of certification costs each year, up to a maximum of $500 per certification scope. Crops, livestock, wild crops, handling, and state organic program fees. Now, who was eligible? Certified organic producers and handlers who have paid certification fees during the 2021 and subsequent program years may apply for reimbursement of the incurred cost. Now, for the program year 2021, it covers expenses paid from October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021. And the application deadline is November 1st, 2021. It is open currently for sign up. Is certification required to participate? Yes. And what costs are reimbursable? Eligible costs include application fees, inspection costs, fees related to equivalency agreements, arrangement requirements, travel per diem, per inspectors, users fees, and sales assessments and postage. And then the maximum reimbursement amount is $500. For more information, please visit your local FSA office or visit farmers.gov. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to talk about a new program that will open up by next week. I have little to no training on it, but we FSA will receive training this upcoming week. It's called the Pandemic Livestock Indemnity Program. I'm going to give you a brief overview. The Pandemic Livestock Indemnity Program provides assistance for losses of livestock and poultry depopulated from March 1st through December 26, 2020, due to insufficient processing access during the COVID-19 pandemic. This program will also compensate eligible producers for the cost of depopulation and disposal of their animals. The Farm Service Agency is accepting applications for this program July 20th, 2021 through September 17, 2021. And who was eligible? To be eligible for payments, producers must have legal ownership of the livestock or poultry as the day of the eligible livestock or poultry was depopulated, comply with the provisions of the highly erodible land and wetland conservation regulations, often called the conservation compliance provisions, not have a controlled substance violations, be a citizen of the United States or a resident alien, and submit a complete application form and provide all required documentation as specified. And to be eligible for payments, a person or legal entity must have an average adjusted gross income of less than $900,000 for tax years 2016, 2017, and 2018. With respect to joint ventures and general partnerships, this AGI provision will be applied to members of the joint venture and general partnerships, and packers, live poultry dealers, and contract growers are not eligible for this program. The eligible livestock and poultry include swine, chickens, and turkeys, because USDA has determined that producers of these livestock and poultry types suffered losses and incurred costs for depopulation due to insufficient processing access during the COVID-19 pandemic. Please file your application at your local FSA office, and I can receive them through email, fax, mail, or you can drop them off. And for more information, visit farmers.gov/PLIP. Those are the acronyms for the program, PLIP, P-L-I-P. Farmers.gov/PLIP, or just visit farmers.gov in general, and all the programs are there, and all the breakdown of what is required, what the program entails, and how to apply for the program is also included there. Lastly, I would like to talk about the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program. The USDA is providing critical support to our nation's farmers and ranchers through the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program 2, and CFAP 2 provides vital financial assistance for agricultural producers who continue to face market disruption and associated costs because of COVID-19. The USDA will begin providing additional financial assistance to farmers, ranchers, and producers impacted by the COVID-19 market disruptions through the Pandemic for Producers Initiative. The original application period for CFAP 2 ended December 11, 2020, and the USDA reopened CFAP 2 sign-up beginning April 5, 2021 for at least 60 days. The sign-up deadline has not been announced currently, but I did receive an email from higher up saying that it will end soon. So if anybody would like to participate, and honestly, to be eligible for the program, you would have suffered a 5% loss in the months of August of 2020, last year. For more information, please visit farmers.gov/service center or farmers.gov/CFAP, or give me a call, which I'm going to provide you right now my contact information, and I will explain everything to you. Okay, like I said, my name is Nikki Anoha, and like I said, I'm the CED for the Broward and Palm Beach Service Center. My email is my first name dot last name, my first name being Nikki, which is N as in Nancy, I as in Igloo, K as in Kite, K as in Kite, I as in Igloo, dots, O as in Oscar, N as in Nancy, U as in Umbrella, O as in Oscar, H as in House, A as in Apple, at USDA.gov, or give me a call with my number for the office is 561-657-4247, and I'm available 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, or through email. I will contact you by my earliest convenience. Thank you for listening to me, and have a wonderful day, you guys. And I hope to hear from you as soon as possible.
Woo-hoo. All right. Announcer, you can just use this one.
Okay. All right. So next up, we have NRCS. You want to? What's the last name?
Reyes.
Reyes. So we have Ms. Reyes here to talk about some of the programs through NRCS as well. And then after that presentation, we'll jump back and forth on the comments from anybody that's online. And this is being recorded as well. So feel free to comment, and we'll be able to get back to you as well and relay comments if we run out of time here. So, all right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Rosa Reyes, and this is kind of weird for me because I'm used to in-person thing, and I'm sure Nikki is used to that. So seeing people here, I tend to just look at you. So for me, it's a lot easier. So excuse the people online. Oh, that is much better. I can see everybody now. So I'm Rosa Reyes. I'm with NRCS. Sammy, I want to thank you for all the words you said before, because honestly, you took half of my talk, man. You did. So no, it's good because then they'll hear it again. So it's good. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. First thing I wanted to ask, and I don't know how we could figure this out, is everybody a farmer here and online? Everybody farms here, Palm Beach and Broward? Where are you?
I'm here in Palm Beach, but I'm not a farmer.
You're not a farmer, okay, but you're
Involved in the
yeah,
community,
okay. And you?
I'm South Miami-Dade.
Miami-Dade. And sir, you're where?
I'm in Palm Beach, but I run several nonprofits.
Okay, so you're in it. And what about the people in the?
In the audience, so we've got most of our farmers are from Florida in general.
Okay.
But yeah, so you're going to see Southeast Florida as like the most capacity, and then we kind of spread across Florida, and then it's all either support groups for our farmers or
Okay.
farmers in general.
Okay. The reason I ask is just to address this in the proper way.
Yeah.
So then I kind of know who is around. So the programs I'm gonna share with you, since Sammy started, which is great, it applies to everybody in Florida. I mean, nationwide too. Every state tailors it different. But one thing that's very important with NRCS stands for Natural Resource Conservation Service. And that's actually what we do. We work with resource concerns. We work with the natural resources. So our programs are all geared towards that. And Sammy could have not said it better. Our programs are not for people, it's for people that are not for people rush to do something that way. In our program job, I really have been, I'm going to date myself here now, but I've been with the agency 33 years, so that means something to you, that I really like what I do. I love my career. So one of the things we do, we work with farmers and ranchers specifically, and I'm going to concentrate in two of our basic programs, which is EQIP, that includes the high tunnel that Sammy talked about, and CSP. That's initiatives that we give. We don't, in a lot of our practices, we don't cover 100% of it. In some, it kind of, depending where in the state you are, it may cover 100%. We have a schedule of practices that we pay, and we're set on that. But the important thing is that we meet with you. We go to your farm and we meet person to person. We are not a regulatory agency, which is what I love of my agency. We don't regulate. We work with people that want to work with us. So we will go to your farm, and of course, you know your farm better than I do, right? So we will go visit, we will see the area and see what are your plans? What are you planning to do? What are your resource concerns? Because that's what if you're going to apply to one of our programs, that is the basic resource concern. So you're asking me, okay, what is a resource concern to you? And I'm going to read it to you. It's every piece of your property is unique. You have an opportunity to improve in your farm the natural resources and address those concerns. Our human activities in the farm contribute to the condition of those natural resources on the land. They can improve the land and the natural resources, or they could decline. So that's where we come in. And I will come in and I will tell you, what are you doing? What are your plans? Let's see what you're doing. Are you doing crop rotation? Are you doing cover crop? In your cover crop, what are you doing? Are you doing legumes? In your conservation crop rotation, are you including a legume? Are you including a grass light to bring all that soil into your ground? What are you doing? So we talk. That visit is just basically talking. Those are my favorite times in a farm. So that's what are we looking at. And we related back, I don't have any slides, but Sammy show it right there. What we're gonna do is basically concentrate on those resource concerns that she named it right there. And they were including water quality, they include insufficient water to those plants or to the animals? The soil health, how's your soil health? How can we improve it? Are you doing something that maybe is not helping that much and we could include something else? Wildlife, some people dedicate to have corridors or have areas that they could dedicate to wildlife. Before the meeting started, we were talking about pollinators, we were talking about monarch and bees. So that's part of what we do and we really enjoy it. So once we visit your farm, you and I talk about the resource concerns that you have, then we match that to our programs and see what programs can we match with what you have there in your plans and your interest. There are several programs under EQIP. We have different fund pools. We have fund pools that will be specifically for cropland. We have fund pools that will be for cattle or maybe poultry. It's very, very, very specific. That's why it's good to hear from you, because if this year we don't have a fund pool, maybe next year we could have it. I could put a good word. Hey, this is what we need in our county, and this is what we need to include next year. What do you think? We're using these resource concerns. So I am like a liaison in a way. So we could try to better ourselves serving you. So within EQIP, we have different categories, and categories will be beginning farmer, and Nikki mentioned it. We have beginning farmers. We have social disadvantaged people with low income in their farming or in their income in general. And Dad, I could guide you with that. We have a special funding for veterans and farmers and ranchers. So that's all included in there. We have another practices. You're asking, okay, what do you cover in your practices on your schedule? We could do cover crop. We could do irrigation. Let's say you have your crop and you have a sprinkler system. So let's say maybe we could improve that. Maybe you don't want to use that much water. What happens with that water? One, you're wasting it. Second, you end up pulling weeds or putting pesticide to get, those weeds out. Well, maybe if we manage to irrigate just a portion of it, drip system, or depending if you have trees, maybe a spray jet system, then maybe we could cost share that, okay? Other practices that we could do, we have done barn owl boxes for owls, and that's a popular in the EAA area, in the sugarcane area. Other practices that we do is land smoothing, and Chris is the person right there that does the land smoothing, land leveling, checking, and advises everybody. He's our expert on pollinators, like we were talking before, and invasive plants. We have a nutrient management, which includes for you to do a soil test and make sure that your crop gets the nutrients that it needs. So it's a combination of fertilizer and what the soil has. You don't want to put too much of it, right? You don't want to put not too much, because it's just going to leach out. So we have integrated pest management. We have the high tunnel. That has been a very popular program, and we cover only for crops that are grown on the soil. So, and we cover on that one, I could tell you for this year, we covered $10,000 for a prefab high tunnel. So there's there's a lot of practices I could mention to you. CSP is another conservation stewardship program. That is a great program that if you are doing best management practices in your farm, CSP it will be a contract of 5 years where for doing good practices and enhancing those practices, you will get a payment every year. So one thing about our programs is that they are competitive programs. Okay, what does that mean? That you'll be competing, let's say you're going to compete for cropland. You're going to compete for, you need an irrigation system, just for an example. You're going to compete in that phone pool with everybody that's applying for that. This year changes a little bit because only for my office, which I cover Broward and Palm Beach, you will be competing with the ones from Miami-Dade and my county. So it's south from here. Next year, it'll probably be only my counties. So we're trying to better, we're hearing from farmers like you to see how can we better ourselves with the funding. So CSP, again, is Conservation Stewardship Program. It is a very good program if you have a plan and you have land. Either it could be leased or it could be leased or it could be owned, but you have to have control of that land for 5 years. You have to guarantee that you have, if you have a deed and you're not planning to sell, hey, this might be the program for you. Let me see, what else can I say about our programs? When you compete with these programs, there is what we call, how do you compete? Well, there is a lot of questions that are asked during the application process. And what it is that it's called a ranking. It's going to ask you a lot of questions to say, where is your land? Are you close to an area that's very susceptible because the water quality is not good? Are you close to the Okeechobee? Are you close to the Loxahatchee? It encounters all the environments. So it gives you different points depending on where you're at. It gives you points on what you're offering to do. The more resource concerns you approach on your planning process, that's where you're going to get your points. So that's where the ranking comes from. And it's national questions, state questions, and local questions. And that gives you a ranking altogether. One thing is good. When we go to your, farm, you know, even though you're not going to apply for any of these programs, there is what we call conservation technical assistance. And if you're willing to work with us, we could do a conservation plan with you. Our services are free, so that's no problem. And this conservation plan is just going to demonstrate what we have talked and what is your plan. It's like Sammy was saying, it's good to have a plan so you could continue working towards that. I mean, a plan is just a plan. If you need to change it and move it another way, let me go back a little bit and let me consider this plan B. So then that's what we want to do. It's something that could be changed. So once we do that conservation plan, it will include a plan map of your property and what are you planning to do. You're planning to do irrigation water management. Are you planning to do irrigation? Are you planning to do cover crops, depending on what you have? And it will be all displayed there with soil information and all that. Depending on what you need is who you're going to see in the office. There has been people that do cattle. I don't do cattle too much, so if I can't answer some of the questions, we have a specialist that will go to the farm and will talk to you. He will come from another office. If you need somebody that you want to talk about or you need information on pollinators, then I'll send Chris. If you need somebody with technical expertise on structures or elevation, that will be Chris. So depending on what it is, I could try to find somebody that can help you. Our work is really a team. Where can you find me, or where can you find if you're in another office, like you are in Miami-Dade? Christine. You will talk to Christine. Actually, you're having over there a meeting. Next couple of weeks you're gonna have a meeting, because I received that too. So you'll be with Christine. So if anybody is in Palm Beach and Broward County, you will talk to me, Rosa Reyes, and I will get all my information to Justin. Actually, I've been in Justin's farm. Yeah, it's been like 4 years ago or so. God, yeah, it's been a couple years. It's been a while. Yeah. I'm sure it has changed a lot. So I need to go visit it. Chris told me about it. So that is, all what I presented, you could see it in any of our offices. Something very important. If you're going to apply for our assistance, you will have to go to our sister agency, Nikki, FSA, and she will register your farm if you're not registered. If you're registered, then you just have to update your paperwork to the year you're gonna apply. So that's basically, I'll promise I'll give you my information. And then you could send it off to them. Now, something very important I wanna mention is that next August 13, we're gonna have, I'll give you one so you can post it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna have a luncheon together with the Soil and Water Conservation District.
From so we're from people talking about the people. So that for me to get some farmers together and have some time to talk and have lunch. So don't miss it.
If I don't know if anybody has any questions from the Zoom meeting or from here. I can take any questions that I could answer.
Quick question on the high tunnel. So you said it has to be planted in soil.
Yes.
So for how many years, or is that indefinitely?
Well, you have to have a history that you're cropping on the soil. So if you're in Miami-Dade, Christine will go out there.
Right.
And she'll go out there, and if she knows you, she knows what you have. She knows your
Exactly.
property. And it doesn't have the years. You just have to have like a history that you've cropped before.
But the high tunnels, to put up the structure, then you still have to plant in soil? But my question is, after they're already up, is it a 5-year plan and then it's done, or?
3 to 5. I don't know if it has changed. It used to be a 3. I don't know that it has changed lately. Everything is kind of changing on us, but at least 3 years.
And the high tunnels are high enough for equipment to go under?
You cannot store equipment.
Not store, but use.
To put equipment,
Yeah,
oh yeah, I put some, well, not me, the farmer has, 19 feet.
Okay.
That's quite big, and
Yeah,
they're growing guanabanas on it. And there's another person in Broward that they went and saw yesterday. David went to see our irrigation specialist, and she's growing cacao, and those are pretty big. She's trimming them down, but yeah, they could be big. I mean, whatever you select, we'll pay for square footage,
Okay.
up to 10,000.
I will definitely talk to Christine.
Yeah, and you have to remember that we pay up to, this past year, we paid up to $10,000. So some of my growers, they want to do other stuff that they include there, that's fine, as long as it has some criteria. And the criteria are not bad to me. That's one of our easiest programs, really, the high tunnel program.
You said 10,000 square feet? So what-
No, $10,000 is the max that we have
Oh,
given. And we pay per square feet.
okay.
So if you do something smaller, you get less.
I don't remember what the hoop houses cost nowadays. I guess you have an economist that,
It has gone up, believe me.
yeah, I'm sure.
This last year with COVID, everything, metal, shipping, everything is very expensive. PVC pipe, everything. So, and we're trying to review our schedule. The initiative that we give, I don't know if you work with Christine
I
on
have,
that.
but it's been a while.
We don't pay 100%.
I know, it was
It's
80%, and then
I don't want to even put a percentage on
back
that.
when I did it, it was 80%, and you have to put everything up front.
It's
Once
still
it
like
was-
that.
Once
It's
it
still
was
like that.
inspected, then
Yes.
you got your 80%.
It's still like that. So that's why it's so important when we work together that you see the cost estimate and you see if it's worth it or not. Now, there is always, in any plan that you do with our programs, there's always a main practice. Let's say the main practice is a high tunnel, since we're talking about that. If the main practice is the high tunnel, well, maybe you want to do a little bit of nutrient management. Maybe you want to do a little bit of, you have an irrigation system and you just want to add it to that. Maybe you want to add it to that, and it's not a lot what we pay maybe for that, but maybe it's just going to be like a bonus because you're doing everything together. And it's just the plan, and if we can help you with it, why not?
No, Christine's awesome. She worked with me very well.
Yeah. So yeah, Christine is Very, very good. So, just call her and see what's up now. Oh gosh, I almost forgot this. Our due date for applying for EQIP is September 1st. It's the earliest I've seen in my life, September 1st. And that gives us enough time, gives FSA enough time, Nikki, to try to get everything ready for the next fiscal year. So if you apply now, like you were saying, if you apply now, September 1st is our batching period. The funding will start coming out in spring. They start like in sometimes February, March, April, and depending on how much we have left over, June and July, we're still giving. I just this week I was doing one of our contracts.
This is all part of the 2018 Farm Bill.
2018 Farm Bill, yes, sir. So September 1st, and that's for the whole state of Florida. So if you want to apply, please do, and then I'll visit your farm and we'll talk about it. And then Nikki will help you with all the paperwork. She'll guide you through it, which is quite a bit. The first time is like a shock. Then after that is like, oh, I know, I've seen this before. You know, so it's the way it goes. But you have a FarmRaise, did I say it right?
Yep.
FarmRaise to help you out with that too. So that's great. So if there's no questions,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'll leave this with you.
Yeah. And I'll switch over.
Okay.
Okay, back over here. All right, thanks, guys. We are going to be wrapping this up here. Unless anybody else has any other questions, feel free to raise your hand here at this point and add into the comments or jump on vocally. We've got the FSA, NRCS in person here. So take a moment. Mike, you are still muted. You want to hit the mute button there when you roll over your screen there.
My bad. So will you be able to send out a recording link or a PowerPoint that has the copies of these slides that were used today?
We're going to have that presented here. And I'll, if you can, Mike, type your email into the the message box, and I'll have all the FSA and NRCS documents uploaded there. And of course, everything from Sammy as well. And I did put Sammy's email in there at the top of the list, but I'm going to copy that and put that back down further on the list there for you, Sammy, too. So.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we don't have anything else for now. I want to thank you guys all for coming, and I'd like to see more of you guys here in person, definitely. This is a really good networking event for everybody. When we were doing this pre-pandemic, we were having 40+ people here and really being able to get farmers to work together with different things, being able to coach each other, whether it was older, younger farmers. It turns out really, really well. I do like the virtual. I think there's a couple little gimmicks here that we still want to work out, make it a little bit more efficient for everybody to participate. But just with the live crowd and everybody behind the computers, it's a little hard to manage there. But I think we've got a few things that we can do here to make it happen, and we'll just make this better and better as it goes forward. So next meeting is Yom Kippur Day as well. So we may end up moving it 1 week earlier or 1 week later. As right now, it would be September 16th, which would be the third Thursday of September. But I will let everybody know and try to get that figured out there. So just be heads up for that, that it may flux 1 week earlier or 1 week later than what we normally have it. So, all right, everybody. Well, I don't want to hold you up any longer. Have a good evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.